Is up, Niner gang? I hope everybody's having a good day today. Outside of some of the somber news we got regarding Jason Verrett, I'm gonna wait and let some people trickle in here a little bit, and hopefully we get some good comments going and all that stuff. I'm thinking about throwing the link in the comments to let you guys kind of chime in and give me your thoughts about some of the news that's going on around the 49ers, right? But in the meantime, if you guys could please take a moment to like and subscribe to my channel, please. So please like this video. Please just take a second, close whatever you got to close, like the video, please, and then subscribe, please. I would greatly appreciate that. And also, if you could hit the bell notification so that you get all notifications whenever I go live or anything like that, guys, I would greatly appreciate it. And I have a backup plan. If my Wi-Fi, for some reason, my stream goes out for a second, just bear with me. I'll be right back in. You just got to give me a moment, a couple seconds to get back to it. Man, but yeah, you guys please start firing up the comments as soon as you can. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Just check in with me. Let me know you're here. Very tough news today, guys. Very tough news, man. We were already hearing about some injuries coming out of practice. You know, Samson Ebicom aggravated his hamstring. So there was that. And then today, the news with Jason Verrett, man, I could not believe it, man. I legit thought it was a joke. If I'm being honest, I went to Twitter and I checked a couple different things, couple different sources to make sure it wasn't like no bullshit tabloid or something like that. But we got Team Cali in here. Says, what up, Niner gang? It sucks what happened to JV. I wish him all the best. Yeah, man. And that's another thing too. I hope we can all put our emotions aside for this guy, man. You know, if we think we're going through it as fans, imagine how he feels. And thank you for chiming in, Team Cali. I really appreciate it, and hope you're having a good day, man. Outside of the news today, man, a pretty good day for me. I think, you know, just got off work, but definitely tough to hear this. Devastating, man. I couldn't wait to see if he was going to play for one against the Chargers, and then just how he was going to do. And it's very frustrating also, like just this regime, the problems we've had with injuries in the past. And even just this week, like I said, with Samson Ebicom, that happened in practice after a day off. So stuff like that is just ridiculous. And it's crazy, man, because what I've been saying, I was like, okay, yeah, Verrett, come back. That'd be great. Can't wait to see what he can do. But first and foremost, stay healthy. If you have to let off the gas pedal and, you know, just take away from some of your play to make sure that you're able to stay healthy instead of overcompensating, which that was a kind of a point that some other people brought up, that maybe he was overcompensating to take care of the injury in his ACL to kind of hamper that a little bit. And so that's what caused the Achilles tear. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but yes, Verrett, he tore his Achilles. So he comes back from the ACL injury that happened last year at the beginning of the season, and this time it's an Achilles tear, man. And it's terrible. I wish he could have taken care of himself better. I'm sure he would have loved to taken care of himself better, but you know, these things happen, and my heart really goes out to him, man. It's devastating. I know as an athlete, when you can't go out there and perform and your body just won't cooperate with you, it just sucks more than anything, man, because you just can't do anything about it. There's always, you know, logistical things that can happen as an athlete, like, hey, I don't have somewhere to stay, or I got to take care of other things. I don't have a car, or whatever the case may be, right? Or this team doesn't want me. But, you know, you always have the fighting chance that, hey, another team wants me or something like that. So I can go put my best abilities out there for them and be given a shot. But when your body is not cooperating with what you want, man, is just one of the hardest things to deal with. We got Damian Lee in here. Thank you for being in here, man. He says, what up, Niner family? He also says, it's time for us to move on from the injury-prone players. Availability is the best ability. Trent Baalke is gone. Hey, man, I know you guys have been here. You guys have heard me saying it. That's why when people talk about like trading Fred Warner, he's always here, man. I think he's only missed one game. And one thing that was very encouraging about even like the Charvarius Ward signing, as soon as he got signed, one of the first things I looked at was his injury history. And I think he's only missed one game in his whole career. And that was like what, 3 years with the Chiefs, 2 years, 3 years with the Chiefs. And so yeah, Charvarius Ward has only missed like one game in his whole career in the NFL. So that was great to see, right? So I felt very confident in him being able to stay healthy on the 49ers. And, when he did miss a game, it was stuff like this. He would aggravate his hamstring or something like he did a couple games ago. He would aggravate his hamstring, maybe miss the last half of a game or a quarter of a game and be back the very next week and finish out the season. So that's very encouraging. There are players that just cannot stay healthy because their body isn't built that way, genetics and stuff like that. So I think Charvarius Ward is one of those guys that has very good genetics to where he typically stays healthy. Knock on wood. Let's not jinx that, man. We got actually real quick. So Team Cali says next man up. Hey, that's the mentality. If you're the guy below Jason Verrett that was looking to get replaced by Jason Verrett, you just got to be ready to be out there, man. Jason Verrett, our hearts go out to you, man, more than anything. It's like I said, devastating to us, but imagine how it feels for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he shed some tears. I definitely probably would have if that were me. It's got to be so demoralizing and frustrating to not be able to be out there with your teammates after a whole year of rehabilitation, man. So empathy is one of the big things, man. Like Jason Aponte was saying. And Raphael 629er is in here. He says, "What's up, Niner Gang, Wolfcast, and everyone? Hey, good to see you in here, man." And he says, "Like and subscribe, everyone." Hey, I appreciate it. I really hope everybody does. And we got some 49ers therapy going on today. We're gonna go through some of our feelings with the Jason Verrett stuff, but we are gonna get positive too. If you guys saw my thumbnail, some of the stuff is like speculation on something positive. So we'll talk about some of that stuff too. Raphael says, "We wish we never traded DeForest Buckner. He never misses games." That's what I'm saying, guys. And he really only got 1 or 2 million more than the Armstead deal. So it's just a huge slap in the face. And I'm sure he's not liking his situation over there with the Colts. They're not winning, fired their head coach. So who knows? Maybe we could get him back and trade Armstead to the Colts or something else, man. That would be great. That would honestly be pretty dope. And you guys let me know, hey, if my microphone is a little too loud. I think it might be a little too loud. And if so, sorry about that. We've got let me see. Yeah, Team Cali agrees with you, but Bill Walsh style needs to be brought back, bring back competition and the fight to win. Yeah, definitely. Hey, this team definitely has the fight, right? We typically see it in the second half of the season. It seems like that's the trend that's starting to develop with the Kyle Shanahan regime. But yeah, this team has fight. It's just they have the proneness of injury as well. And there are guys that are being drafted that are coming off injury, and the 49ers are taking chances on those guys. So, I mean, with this regime, we sometimes got to take the good with the bad. And yeah, they draft injured players that don't work out. And then you see the other side of the coin where they have high draft or late draft picks that turn out to be great. So taking the good with the bad, and hopefully they're learning from the bad as well, taking the good, throwing out the bad, and learning from their mistakes. With Kyle Shanahan, seems like it takes him a while to get that stuff rolling. And we've also got CG Ruthless in here. What's up, bro? Hope you're doing good, man. Saw your live stream today. That was pretty cool with the Chargers fan. And Raphael 5629ers says, if Verrett decides to come back again, what's his timetable to return? Maybe training camp? Yeah, I very much think so. But at the same time, that's rushing him back a little bit. I think the 49ers, if so, I wouldn't see why you don't give him a shot. Now, I've heard people saying like, hey, man, just hang it up and go away. enjoy your retirement and go do something else. I understand as an athlete, that is one of the hardest things you could do, even when everything is telling you to stop. And so I'm curious to see how Verrett's going to handle the situation, man. It's so tough. If it's not your ACL, it's your Achilles. If it's not your Achilles, it's your ACL. So, um, yeah, man, he's his own man. He's going to decide what he wants to do for himself. And I wouldn't be opposed to giving him another shot, man. Like I said, I know what it's like to be an athlete and be told no. So, like I was saying though, like Rafael was asking about training camp, I think he could be back for training camp, but I don't think he's going to be 100%. I think it's if we see him back, because remember last year it's the ACL, and it's kind of the same timetable when it comes to the Achilles because they're both tendons, right? So when you go back to the ACL tear, it was game 1 of the regular season last year that he tore that, and we're past the bye week, week 9 right now. We're almost to week 10, and he still wasn't back, right? Still wasn't to 100%. So we're later in the season this year, so he might not be ready till the postseason next year, right? So it just depends on how he attacks his rehab and things go. But yeah, man, I think it's definitely pushing it for training camp. But could be hopeful, man. Wishing on a prayer. And CG says Lenore has played well, TBH. To be honest with you, yeah, man. Lenore definitely one of our stronger corners, and Womack very good, but he still has some development to do. So I am very confident in Womack because look what he's done with just getting into the NFL. And you see guys like Mosley that weren't really when Mosley first got here, he was not that explosive, not even close. It was between Akello, Witherspoon, and Mosley. And Mosley got benched for or Akello got benched for Mosley because Akello was giving up too many plays, right? But then the very next week, the 49ers come right back and give the job back to Akello. And it was kind of like this back and forth hot potato thing with Mosley, right? But over the years, you've seen him develop into this great player as an undrafted free agent. And now we got a guy like Womack, and the 49ers have shown time and time again that they can develop guys like this, corners, linebackers. They're just a factory. The 49ers are a factory for linebackers, corners, coaches, all kinds of different stuff. Unfortunately, not the quarterback. We can't say that about quarterbacks, right? But it's almost a good thing too, because it seems like the 49ers are getting poached left and right for every single position, every single type of staff, anything, man. So that's very frustrating when you can't keep your coaches and build a dynasty, when you can't keep your players to help you build a dynasty. It's very tough, man. It's a very monopoly type game, right? But yeah, to get back to it, man, Lenore's been great. I'm confident in Womack. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to develop into that game changer, but dude, he's shown flashes in it, almost like a Hafunga, right? And if Womack gets more playing time this year, then we have an opposite side of the coin situation like what we had with Hafunga. A lot of people are saying like, man, this dude's great. Why the hell didn't he play more last year? And I think it was actually Kyle Shanahan came out and said during a press conference, he's like, yeah, we probably should have played him more last year, right? So maybe this is a time for Womack, get him more playing time and development this year instead of waiting till next year. And then everybody's like, where the hell have you been hiding this guy, right? Like the situation with Hafunga. And, they've kind of dropped the ball for like the Trey Lance situation when it comes to that aspect. But Team Cali says it's heartbreaking for him, I'm sure. Played 1 or 2 solid years, then the rest was injury after injury. Yeah, man, nonstop, dude. It's crazy. He wasn't even literally didn't even get to play again coming back from injury and is already injured. And this is something too where we have to start like I kind of hope that in the next press conference, the journalists, all the media that covers the 49ers and asks Kyle Shanahan questions, then I hope they start hounding Kyle Shanahan about his practice, habits. right? Because you got guys, this is going at least back to training camp, just talking about this season, right? Guys come back from their day off and get injured. You see that this week, it happens to Ebicom. Then you got Jason Verrett goes down, hasn't even played a game, right? In practice. So ridiculous stuff, man. Kyle Shanahan, the rest of the staff, they really need to take a look in the mirror. This is pretty damn ridiculous, man. This might end Jason Verrett's career. CG says was thinking exactly the same thing. Wolfcast about Buckner. Yeah, definitely. Hey, man, we might see him in a 49ers uniform at some point again. And I'm thinking also, you guys, if you guys would like to, I will throw the link in the comments. If anybody would like to call in, you guys let me know. I'll go off for now. I'll go on my rants and stuff like that. I'll go back and forth with you guys, go through the therapy of all of this stuff, right? But if anybody wants to call in, I'll throw the link in the comments. Let me copy it real quick just in case. But Raphael 5629ers says after this season, Colts can trade Buckner with zero dead cap, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So maybe we see Armstead swapped for Buckner or something, man. Because the thing is, I know the Colts don't want to get rid of a very stable player like Buckner, but the thing is, when a player is unhappy, he can request a trade or whatever the case may be. If he's just not happy, he's going to let the organization know. And they're kind of in a rebuilding stage. They didn't really give their head coach a chance. He's a first-year head coach, got a couple games and he got fired right away. So that's pretty ridiculous. Those are the telltale signs of a very dysfunctional organization. So we might see the Colts start to clean house just like we saw the Panthers do, right? Just a couple weeks ago, the Panthers started cleaning house. That's how we got McCaffrey. They fired their head coach. They let go of a bunch of different players. So might see the same thing with the Colts, and we might be able to swoop on Buckner again. He will probably give the 49ers a hometown discount unless he's holding a grudge for some reason, which is understandable too, because he did admit that he was completely caught off guard by the trade, man. We got Niners sickness in here. Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you in here, man. Thank you very much. And yeah, man, all these guys that I've been turned on to lately, like Celts Chronicles, Niners sickness, a bunch of guys that very, very underrated, I guess you could say. But I'm glad I found your guys' channels, man. I started watching. Grant was the first guy that I started watching, and I've been branching out more and more. And so it's really dope, man. I love hearing everybody's different perspectives. I love it a lot, man. I love your guys' channels. Hell yeah. CG says I would swap Colts Buckner for Armstead in a heartbeat, man. I'm telling you, they probably won't do it, but just if we could find some way to get it done, even if it's not Armstead, whatever the case may be, if it's a couple draft picks, just get it done, man, because he's proven himself to be reliable. Celts Chronicles says, Wolf. Yeah, bro, thank you. Man, so I tried to call into Celts Chronicles live stream earlier today. I have horrible signal at work, man. And so I think that's what it was. But we'll link up at some point, bro. We will link up at some point. Let me see if there's any questions real quick. Give me a second. Damian Lee says, stop drafting injury-prone players. They are taking a healthy player's spot. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Exactly what I was alluding to earlier, Javon Kinlaw, stuff like that. But at the same time, then you get a Bosa out of that type of stuff too. So, but it wasn't as severe with Bosa, but still, right? We have seen the injuries happen with Bosa as well, the recurring injuries. And knock on wood again, hopefully we don't get any more of that. But yeah, man, I agree. Because you can't get those players out of steel, but it's showing over and over again to not work out in the best favor for the 49ers. CG says, I like durable better. Buckner proved to be. Armstead can't stay healthy is my only question. Well, the thing is, okay, Armstead has been pretty he's been pretty healthy over the years. Since he's got signed, since Buckner took off, he has been healthy for the most part. It's just this year, I think, was he got that really weird injury. So I think that's why, right? And then he's overcompensating, kind of like we're talking about with Verrett. Tears his ACL, he's coming back from that, so he's kind of babying it. So overcompensating for it. Then he tears his Achilles on his other leg. So that's probably what happened with Armstead. He ended up getting the hairline fracture in his other foot for overcompensating, babying that other leg or foot. But yeah, he's been pretty healthy for the most part, but still he's not a difference maker like Buckner was. He's a difference maker, but not the way that Buckner was, man. And just the overall leader that Buckner was in this locker room, it's very unfortunate to see a guy like that go. Um, Team Kelly says, JV should try for. I'll leave that up to him, man. I hope, you hope guys like this, when the 49ers bring players in, they have coaches, like life coaches, basically business coaches, staff that takes care of helping the players learn how to manage their finances and stuff like that and set themselves up for the future, right? So I hope Verrett has a plan outside of football that is going to lead him to be very successful in something else. Just wish him the best, man. But if he could come back, I would love to see it. That would be badass. The 49ers would be able to get a great deal for him, I'm sure. Don't turn your back on him, man. And like the thing is too, like the players in this locker room love Verrett so much. This guy's like, he's like the very popular kid, man. You saw like in the off season, he's going to the games with players, the basketball games, he'll go with like Trey Lance and stuff like that. So he helps players get acclimated into the locker room. And just when they get to know him, he's very loved in the locker room. Big leader, man. And I hate to see it for him so much, man. Well, here's the other flip side to it, right? CG says no more injury-prone players. We give Verrett too many chances, and I understand that logic. I understand it, uh, but it's like if he doesn't really count against your cap space, and yeah, he's going to be taking up a roster spot, but if he can get back to full health, which it's showing that his body just can't handle it, so yeah, he's probably done, man. But I'm not gonna count him out till the fat lady sings. And but I see CG's side of it too as well. Uh, Damien says no more Verrett. He's like the ex you keep, who is not right, but you keep her because you don't want to move on. Hey, you know what? I was watching Grant's. I think it was 49ers After Dark. I think it was yesterday. I was watching Grant Cohn, and they had like a whole R&B segment. That shit was so funny. Where and I'm gonna go tell him too, but he was talking about how Kyle Shanahan and Garoppolo are that same way. They're like, he's like saying that that's like the girlfriend that you're telling all your friends you're going to break up with her because you're tired of all the toxicity and the bullshit. And it's like, dude, you're going to stay with her for life. You're going to love her for life. You're full of shit. You're not going to break up with her. And they started singing some R&B songs. And, it was funny. I don't know if I'm going to start busting into song right now, but right away when he started talking about that song by Boys to Men popped into my head. We belong together. The end of the road. But yeah, man. No, I understand where you guys are coming from, but we'll see, man, how he attacks this rehab process. We'll just have to see. I'm not going to count him out. Like, I'm not going to tell him no, but because you always root for a good underdog story. I would love to see it, but I understand where you guys are coming from. Well, Kyle says, Celts Chronicles says, will Kyle lean on Womack or sign a vet if any other injuries happen? I wouldn't see, oh man, I forget his name right now. There is a guy that's a free agent right now, released by the Seahawks. And if the Seahawks, very defensive team, defensive coach, if the Seahawks release him, then he's probably dead in the water. There's probably no hope for him. But, the way the 49ers are, they can develop guys. And what's his name? I think his name's Sidney Jones, right? The cornerback. and I think he was drafted by Washington, goes to Seattle with the Seahawks and gets released by them. But he was supposed to be a high draft pick, gets injured, same injury. It's an Achilles tear. He tears his Achilles or aggravates it before his pro day, and so he fell in the draft because of that. So if you could get a talent like that, and we're talking about getting rid of the recurrence of injury prone players, but if you could sign him to the practice squad and develop him, that might be a guy to look at. The coaches are going to know best because I don't get a good look at what kind of shape he's in right now. But yeah, definitely. I thought William Jackson III from Washington, the Commanders, would have been a good guy to look at in a trade, or I don't know. We'll see about free agency, man. I don't know of any veterans that come to mind immediately. I know some people were talking about Sherman. That dude, I definitely, I know he's not in football shape. That's for damn sure. He's not in football shape. So we need to get that. That's out of the question, guys. I don't know if anybody's thrown it in the comments yet, but Sherman is not coming back. He's not in football shape, and that's one of the important things, right? You can be in shape, you can run, like Jerry Rice runs up the mountains and stuff like that. You can be in great shape in that way, but football shape is a whole different thing, right? Taking hits and stuff like that. I like Womack says Niner Sickness podcast. Hopefully he'll get his opportunity, and he has been, right? He's been ahead of Ambry Thomas, so that's a good thing. Just continue to build on it, and I see, this is the tough thing because they've moved Lenore outside to put Womack inside, and vice versa. And I kind of like getting the development of Womack on the outside, because if you ask a corner, a lot of times they'll tell you building from the outside, when you play outside corner as a rookie, that's easier to get acclimated to. So, that might be something better for Womack. But at the same time, if you're putting him out there by himself, and one of his weaknesses is the run game, right? He's not as good in the run game as Lenore. So, but one of the things is about that is like, okay, I want him on the outside because it would be easier. But at the same time, you're putting him out on an island. Now, if you put him in the nickel on the inside, I do like that because, in his fault in the run game, he's in the center of the field where they're going to be stacking the box, and he'll have backup in the run game. So it's not as vital, right? He'll have more help out there instead of, defending the edge. But Team Kelly says Mosley was garbage, but hard work paid off for E-Man. Oh man, I feel like you're talking about me a little bit there. Because the coaches in college, they didn't even want to let me play, and then the hard work and my knack for the ball ended up paying off. So kind of a similar situation. So they didn't even want to let me suit up or anything, and then I just balled out. So yeah, I agree with that very much, man. That's one of the things, just like Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice wasn't one of the fastest, best, tallest, all these athletic ability type guys, but he just busted his ass day in and day out. One of the strongest worth ethics of any NFL football player of all time. So that's why he's a great, right? And everybody better stop saying that Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. You guys better cut that out. That's Joe Montana. Everybody knows damn well if Tom Brady played in Joe Montana's era with his rules, his ass would have been toast a long time ago. Fucker probably wouldn't have made it till 30. And I'm talking about 30 years of age. Raphael says, should the Niners activate Quantrez Knight from the practice squad? See, that's the thing. It would be between him and Tariq Castro Fields. And I think they activated Castro Fields during the Falcons game. So I think he would get first dibs. But, yeah, man, I think it's going to be Tariq Castro Fields. And Quantrez Knight will probably get his chance at some point. But we're going to have to keep our eye on that, It's going to be Womack and apparently Ambry Thomas for now. That's crazy stuff, man. And I hope, they get Charvarius Ward some rest here and there too. but it's tough when he's like your best cornerback on the field at all times. Is Tart still unemployed? Bring him and put Jimmy Ward at his natural spot. See, okay, Damien, I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before, but this is one of the things, and I talked about it with Jesse Naylor. I told him, because I asked him, I was like, hey, man, I hear a lot of people talking about we should put Ward back at safety in his natural position. And I understand the argument of you don't lose your job to injury, right? And I hated to see it. Like, for example, was probably the greatest example I could think of is Alex Smith gets hurt in, I think it was 2011. No, 2012. Alex Smith gets hurt in 2012. He gets replaced by Harbaugh due to injury. Locker room goes crazy. Like, hey, what the fuck, Harbaugh? You're not supposed to lose your job to injury. This is bullshit. We're behind Alex Smith. That's our quarterback. And they saw like Joe Staley, right? Joe Staley was there through a lot of the hard times where Alex Smith was hounded on and booed off the stage and stuff like that when it really wasn't his fault. So you don't lose your job to injury. But the thing is, Ward is still injured. So that's the thing. He still has a club on his hand. The way I see it is a safety is the last line of defense, right? That's why it's called a safety, because those are the players that are helping you keep the play safe, keep it from being too big of a play, right? When you're the last line of defense, I don't think you can have a club on your hand that's going to limit you in the tackling aspect of the game. So that's where I disagree with putting Ward back at his natural spot just yet. I like him as a linebacker corner hybrid right now where he's at. So I would rather see that and keep the two guys that have been playing really damn good at their spot for now. Now, when Ward gets that cast off, oh, it's fucking game on. Better believe it, man. He's getting his spot back, and I don't think anybody is disputing that. Continue to rotate him with Gibson to keep everybody fresh and safe. Even some three safety sets. We saw that last year. You see Jaquiski Tart, Jimmy Ward, and Hafunga all on the field at the same time. So that's going to be something to look at, and probably something to look forward to, especially in the postseason, man. So once Jimmy Ward gets that cast off, it's game on, man. He's getting his spot back. So let's not worry about that. I think what they're doing with him right now is great and the smartest thing to do. Keep him in shape. You know, he's still playing football, so his body is still used to it, right? Is staying adapted to the game. And one thing, because I'm glad they have the club on his hand now instead of having his hand casted up like this, right? Where his fingers were exposed in a really weird way. I like that now it's a club. And I thought it would be really funny to like make his cast into a paddle so he can swamp balls and stuff like that. It'd probably be easier to catch interceptions with too. So that'd be pretty funny. Put a fly swatter on it as a cast, just a tennis racket. CG says, Ambry Thomas, I want him to improve, but he just isn't stepping up. I think it's too late for him, man. You know, but it's weird because he's the next guy up behind Sam Womack. So D'Amico Ryans isn't too pleased about him, but yet he's still getting playing time. So it's really weird over Quantrez Knight and Tariq Castro Fields too, right? So that's kind of weird, and I think maybe it's just because of a system thing, and they have just a little bit more confidence that Ambry Thomas at least knows where he should be and sit in zones. So I think there's that. Not really where he's at in a game shape aspect. Yeah, Celts Chronicles is giving Rafael 562 Niners some kudos right here for the mention on Quantrez Knight. Always love to see that, man. We always forget about certain people in the roster, right, on the practice squad and stuff like that. But always got to show love to our fellow 49er family, man. I love it, man. So much negativity, like on Twitter and even Facebook and stuff like that. People are just so fucking rude. I don't understand it, man. It's like, dude, if you were to talk to me like that in person, I'd slap the fuck out of you. So I don't know what you got going on, man. You guys, we need to be polite. Just act in public or act online like you do in public. There's certain people that talk to you online like very disrespectful and that they wouldn't say that in public. So, you know, act the part, man, and treat people how you want to be treated too. But Like, you know what? Actually, what's a great example, and I know you guys know this. I know you guys know this guy. The Remilius Sports Report. I'll stay out of the way, but once he starts talking shit about the Niners, I'm like, all right. Then I start calling him the Gonorrhea Sports Report, and I'll start talking shit to him. But when he's cool, when he's chilling, being respectful, then I'll chill. I'll be like, all right, man, yeah, talk, speak your facts or whatever. But when you start getting disrespectful, like especially towards my team and stuff like that, or towards specific fans or whatever, all right, I'm coming for that ass. But it is what it is, man. Niner Sickness says, do you think this injury to Jason Verrett may affect the team playing the Chargers on Sunday, or will they be inspired to win for him? You know what? I'm gonna give you kudos on that. I wish I had like a siren, like a me 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 for Niner Sickness podcast, man. That's a very great point. I think the team is going to be inspired to win for Jason Verrett, man. This is a very emotional time, man. Like even as a fan, so they better whoop that ass, man. And this is the thing too. And what I was talking about before the bye week was, or actually during the bye week, when Emmanuel Mosley went down, um, D'Amico Ryans had very little time to plan and get acclimated to what he was going to have to do now that Mosley was out, right? And so I think we've seen the bumps in the road, but D'Amico Ryans has shown in the past that he can get it done with these puzzle pieces like Josh Norman and stuff like that, right? So I'm confident that, like in the Rams game, the defense stepped up and started looking back to good form, right? Now it was against the Rams, a very terrible offense, but hopefully that gave them the 49ers defense a lot of confidence that they could get it done with missing Emmanuel Mosley now. And of course, but we're talking about corner, right? And so I think, with this bye week, D'Amico Ryans has gotten to take a look in the mirror, take a look at the film and all that type of, and so now he's going to feel more comfortable with how the guys have played on the field, how he can utilize them, like Womack, Ambry Thomas, those guys. So yeah, I'm confident they're going to get it done regardless either way, because they've been getting a few weeks to get acclimated to each other as a unit. But yeah, man, that's a great way to put it, is that they're probably going to play inspired and whoop the Chargers' ass. And really, I hope they use that against the Cardinals too in Mexico City. Rafael 5629ers says, activate Mr. Nine Lives Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson, man. And if you guys don't know this, he's actually one of the longest tenured 49ers on this team. With him and Jimmy Ward is the other guy, right? They've been on the team since the Harbaugh era. So that's pretty wild in itself, man. I love it. Like one of my favorite things that I relate to Jimmy Ward, other than his personality, just being down to earth, I love the person that he is. But one of the things he said, because I think it was Grant Cohn asked him in the interview, was, now that you got money, like, what do you do with your money? He's like, you know what, man? When I got paid, I started getting things that when I was a kid and our family was poor, I couldn't get, was like stuff like just toys. So, I went out and I started buying like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger action figures. And I love that, man, because myself, I'm a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. Always have been since I was a little kid. That's my birthday party that I always wanted when I was a kid. So I love that. I got some action figures in the room on the shelf right there, a little to the side, some Mighty Morphin stuff. So I love that about him, man. But yeah, Dante Johnson, to get back to him, he's another guy that I feel doesn't get enough respect. And I love that he continues to be here and be a Niner for life. He's going to be here, man. I'm sure he's going to get to see some playing time as well. Maybe probably before Tariq Castro Fields and Quantrez Knight as well. CG says, should we sign Jonathan Abram to develop him into Ward replacement soon? See, that's a tough one, man, because we're going to have to see how that contract goes. But yeah, that's definitely something to look at. I think, kind of something that I'm talking about right now. It's tough because Jimmy Ward, to begin with, he already gave the 49ers a hometown discount when the Raiders offered him more money, right? Um, so he came out and said that himself. The Raiders offered him more money, but he stayed with the 49ers and signed with them, gave him the hometown discount. But it sounds like he's ready to get that bigger paycheck. Now, the thing is, he's going to have to stay healthy for that. And so I don't think he's going to give the 49ers a hometown discount again unless he's looking to retire with the 49ers, because the whole context of the conversation that he was having um, was he was making it seem, alluding to, he wants to get paid. He gave the hometown discount this time or last time, but this time he wants his damn money. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Jonathan Abram. Um, oh, man, that's tough, man. I don't know, because the 49ers, I think they should do it. I think they should do it. They can help develop guys like CG Ruthless is talking about. So, yeah, man, I'd be all for it. I'm down. But at the same time, draft capital, draft another safety. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how good of a veteran Hufanga is by then, too, right? Because you always want that veteran in the backfield that's going to be a leader and teach guys, get them acclimated to the system, kind of like Emmanuel Sanders did when he came in for the wide receivers. They were kind of running around like chickens with their head cut off, and he kind of gave them tunnel vision for, put them on the straight and narrow as wide receivers in the NFL, what it takes to be championship caliber wide receivers. I think you saw that play a big role in the explosion of Deebo Samuel. Oh my God. Raphael, don't even, he who shall not be named. Raphael 5629 says, if the Niners have to call Norman, we are doomed. I don't know that guy, man. No, yeah, no, definitely. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's done. Kind of like Kyle Sherman. Kyle Sherman. Anyways, Richard Sherman. But Coutts Chronicle says Verrett hasn't been there already, Beto. So a big concern with Eman and Verrett out if another injury happens. Yeah, and Eman's probably going to take a huge hit to his contract because of the injury. Let me see. CG has a great point about Jonathan Abram here too. Is the Raiders gave up on him too soon? Change of scenery helps. Yeah, we've seen that with the defensive linemen. The 49ers are able to bring players from other teams and change them into something. They see something in them that the other team is not utilizing. So, like I said, I'm just confident in the 49ers. Whoever they bring in, they could develop. Like even when we talk about a Josh Norman, he had the downside to his play with the pass interferences and stuff like that, his lacking coverage, athleticism, but he made up for it with a lot of turnovers, right? He had the peanut punch where he would cause a lot of fumbles. So I love that aspect to his game because I didn't see any other players doing it. You see Fred Warner doing it every now and then, but Josh Norman's peanut punches were on a whole different level for whatever reason, and it doesn't seem like it's something that's very difficult to do. Niner Sickness says injuries can definitely change the strength of a football team in the beginning of the year. What are your secondary now? Not so much. Injuries can definitely change the strength of a football team in the beginning of the year. We're straight now. What are the secondary? Yeah, no. See, that's what I've been saying, right? Initially, when Emmanuel Mosley goes down, the whole defense goes in shambles and start running around like chickens with their heads cut off, right? They don't know what the hell they're doing, including D'Amico Ryans. So now they're getting a couple weeks to get acclimated together with not having Mosley because he was the guy during training camp and the whole beginning of the season, the whole first couple games, right? Now it's completely flipped on its head. And it's the same thing when you look at the whole Garoppolo, Trey Lance situation. This team, the staff, everybody prepared for the season as Trey Lance was going to be the quarterback and the system and everything was ready and set for him, right? Jimmy Garoppolo comes in. This staff isn't the same staff we had for the past few years, right? They all went to Miami and shit. So this new staff doesn't really know Garoppolo as well as that other staff, right? So they've had to get acclimated to him. And so this is why I'm hoping with a bye week, they're taking a look at everything. They're getting the chance to look at that stuff. And this offense is going to explode and be more Jimmy friendly, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Same thing with the defense. Damien says, bring in Dante Johnson until we find a solid replacement. As a starter, I think you're talking about a starter because Dante Johnson is already here, but he's not the starter. So I understand what you're saying, but the guys are starting to play really good. We're talking about them getting acclimated and stuff like that. And I know I'm really behind on the comments too, so that might have part of like me answering late and stuff like that. But CG says, just wanted to stop by, say hello next time I jump in. Regardless, man, I appreciate you either way, man. And you guys, if anybody's not subbed to CG Ruthless 49ers Talk, you guys go jump to his channel, check him out, and subscribe at some point after this video. Don't leave yet. You guys don't forget either. But yeah, CG, I appreciate you, man. Hope you have a great night. And hopefully we got some better news throughout the week and get a victory this weekend. Hopefully we'll be in the talks here throughout the week. I know Joe is older, but I've always liked him. Joe. Who's Joe? Sorry. Sorry. Oh, no. Team Kelly says, I think the Colts regret getting Matty Ice. Oh, man. The fucker's dried ice, right? Yeah, I don't understand why anybody would ever want Matt Ryan. Like, he's never really done anything substantial outside of when he was with Kyle Shanahan. And yeah, he's not somebody that I would put very much faith in, especially to carry a team. Damn, I'm really behind on the comments. I have a whole shitload of content to go through too, but I'm going to continue to go through the comments and stuff like that because I know as a fan base, we're really going through it right now. But we do have some stuff to look forward to. Here's one from Team Cali. That is why I don't understand some faithfuls wanting OBJ. He has 2 major injuries in the same knee. Please, no more injured players. Yeah. See, I understand where you're coming from, but I do see the other aspect to it is like, but here's the thing. Regardless, we would have to pay him. So that's the part I don't like, right? You could give him something incentive-based, especially if it's backloaded, to make him prove himself first. Like, hey, dude, we would love to have you on our team, but you got to show us that not only are you going to make a difference or at least be able to stay on the field, but you're going to be able to do it for the long term. And so we're going to backload this contract. You can have a chance. But yeah, you got to prove it to us. It's going to be incentive-based and backloaded. But at the same time, see, like for me, when I know that OBJ is looking at teams he would like to go to, anybody that would even consider him. And in the bidding war, it was the Bills and the Cowboys that were hinted at that they were, or reported, I should say, that those were the other 2 teams ready to go into a bidding war with the 49ers, the Bills and the Cowboys, to bid for OBJ. Those 2 teams have way better quarterbacks than ours. I guess you could say, right? Some would say, maybe not Dak Prescott so much. I know he can light up the field sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, would you rather go to Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback, or would you rather have Dak Prescott or Josh Allen? So I think that's going to be a factor in the negotiation for where OBJ wants to go. So I think that kind of discounts us out of the whole conversation. But yeah, the injury proneness. Now, the thing is, he would be a depth piece, I think. So that's why I wouldn't be opposed to it. Probably not a starter. And if he's going to be a diva, he's not going to be here. So that's not something we got to worry about. They're going to bring the right guys with the right mindset into this building. Couch Chronicles says, do y'all remember yesterday how mostly everything was pointing up? Things can happen any given moment. Count your blessings. We still going on a run. Yee. Yeah, man. Very understandable. Like, and I know actually, the injury happened yesterday with Jason Verrett, but it wasn't announced until today. So, yeah, man, our hearts are flying high and stuff like that. Our spirits are flying high, ready for this Chargers game, and then we get late news about this. Dang, my my voice is giving out a little bit. Uh, we need to get younger and maintain our experience. Yep, definitely, and that's something I've been looking at for a while now, for a few months. I feel the very same way. Keep a couple of those vital veterans, of course, like Fred Warner, um, to help develop those guys at their positions. But yeah, stay young, crucial spots that knows what they're doing, that can help those younger guys get acclimated and kind of make up for where some of those guys lack a little bit. Oh, this is a great one. I think Raphael, I think you brought this up in Steph's chat or something like that. I think it was. But Raphael 5629er says, Verrett DB coach next year. And I replied I think it was you that asked it. I replied actually when I saw it. I said, yeah, he's been a DB coach basically here for the past 2 years. And so why not get paid for it, right? Continue to do something that you love. Stay with the locker room. I'm glad you brought this up too. But yeah, stay with the locker room that loves you. Get paid to do it, and something that can develop into him building into a defensive coordinator, kind of like D'Amico Ryan's, um, player from the past, retired player that becomes a coach. So yeah, that would be great for Verrett, man, to be successful in something else. Maybe not next year, but yeah, that'd be cool if it was next year. We'll just have to see what his mindset is. I'm gonna see if Damian Lee says William Jackson has back problems. See, that's one of the things that was brought up about the whole trade negotiation type stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's something that's understandable when you don't want injury prone players. See, but here's the thing with William Jackson, I thought that was just a cop out, right? Because it came out that he wanted out of the Commanders. Um, he wants to go to a winning team. And that's something you see with players when they want to leave a team. You saw it with Jalen Ramsey. Oh, my back hurts. I can't go today. Oh, darn, shucks. And really, it's just they just want to stay healthy for when they do get traded because they want out of that team. So I think that's exactly what happened with William Jackson, because it happened exactly when that that report came out that he wanted out. And even like Ron Rivera, the coach of the Commanders, he was like, yeah, just next guy up. We're just ready to move on from William Jackson, basically. Don't quote me. That's not exactly what he said, but Niner Sickness Podcast says, I hate that word injury prone. Players just have bad luck with injuries, but it doesn't mean you're prone to it like you're a magnet to injuries. No, man, Niner Sickness, it's actually a true thing. This really does happen, man. Certain players, genetics, it plays a role in it. It does play effect in how a player can't stay healthy. There's freak things that happen, but there's also that is a fact that you can be injury prone. It's not a coincidence that the same guys continue to get injured over and over again, while another guy in the same position can stay healthy for longevity, right? Some people are wired different as well when they take hits a certain way and they don't know how to roll with the punches. If you use it in boxing context, boxing type, like I think it's kind of smart, kind of like Hafunga. He's pretty smart, it seems like. I know he misses a lot of tackles, but the way he throws his body in there at people's legs helps him to stay healthy because he's not going head up with guys all the time, right? So, and that's something where Jimmy Ward kind of lacks, and he'll go in there for big hits and he gets himself hurt over and over again. So it's a real thing. And yeah, with all due respect, bro. CG, yeah, definitely sign Abram for depth. I'd be down for it. But the safety thing, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen to the offseason, though. because the 49ers already have who they're going to have at safety. And if they're going to call anybody at this point, it's probably going to be Jaquiski Tart. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it. But like I said, I think it's going to happen during the offseason. We've got our rotation of guys. You can't. You're going to keep Odom. You're going to keep Tayshaun Gibson. So it depends who you're willing to let go of the practice squad as well. CG says, and I agree with this, Raiders are clueless with developing talent. Yeah, dysfunctional all around is what I think it is. And he brings up another point because a lot of people are talking about Brady. Brady is a cheater and a softie. He is a softie. He's getting older. He's not getting any younger and tougher. He's getting older and softer. So I'm not completely opposed to bringing him in, but I am a little bit. The only reason I want him here is so that he can fulfill his dream as a 49er fan to play for the 49ers, because I understand that. I would love to be the 49ers quarterback as well, or wide receiver or whatever, and go win a championship. But will Tom Brady have the tools next year to get it done? He can still make all these great passes and everything right now, but I think he's too much of a statue in the pocket. I think the NFL, we just need somebody like in the NFL is developing to have a mobile quarterback, to be a dual threat, right? Not just a mobile quarterback, but a dual threat, somebody who can stand in the pocket and run out of the pocket and do both. Niner Sickness Podcast says, if I'm not mistaken, I seen Ward in practice and he no longer has the club on his hand. You know what? I'm actually going to break some news real quick too. That's already been broken, but I'm going to re-break it. I'm going to put it back together and re-break it. But I'll do it after I talk about his comment real quick. I don't know, man. I think they said around week 12. Yeah, week 12, he's supposed to get the cast off. So I'd be surprised if it did, but if it did, you guys heard it here first. Niner Sickness brought it up. And if so, we've got some good news on the channel. And some other news that I was going to bring up that's kind of related to that, right? It reminded me of this, was actually one guy that was in practice. If nobody's heard yet, Juszczyk is already back in practice. So he should be ready to go against the Chargers. Same thing with Debo and Elijah Mitchell, of course, right? Yeah. So yeah, Juszczyk, that's very encouraging, man. But hopefully that doesn't mean that Dwelly's going to get put on the back burner. Continue to utilize Dwelly, man. Heard Ward is wearing a boxing type glove now. What the hell? Whatever gets it done, man. Whatever gets it done. Oh, shit. Damn. So CG says Sidney Jones isn't available. Raiders signed him. See, I didn't hear about that. Great to know that, man. But like you said, the Raiders can't develop guys. So I think he's going to end up right up on the free agent market again. So I'm not too worried about it. Oh, man. I think we'll get another shot at it. Womack is short for outside corner. See, here's the thing. 49ers first takes. Good to see you in here, by the way, Aaron. Thank you, man. Womack is too short for outside corner. And I would agree, but I think Verrett's like 5'9". So I think he's actually even shorter than Womack. And Lenore and Womack are actually the same height. So either way, it's going to go the same way, because I think those two guys are going to be your starters regardless of anything. With, of course, Ambry Thomas is probably going to be mixed in there unless he gets surpassed by Quantrez Knight, Tariq Castro Fields, or Dante Johnson. So unless one of those guys passes up Ambry Thomas, then, or Womack actually, and Lenore, Womack and Lenore are going to be the options for outside, and they are the same height. They're 5'10". Yeah, 5'10" or 5'11". It's like 5'10" and some change. I I saw that too. Romilio was clapped by Chargers fan today in my chat. I was gonna start going off on him, but he wasn't talking no smack. So I just, when you got the gun holstered, but you got it ready, you're ready to twitch on it. What's about Jimmy? He was balling out last week and dropped some dimes. TD to Kittle was Tom Brady-ish. Hey man, I've talked about this before, and I agree completely. Jimmy is starting, and we're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo here. He's been working his way back for whatever reason. It's weird. He didn't get an off season this year, and some would argue he never does an off season anyways. But usually, always, he at least gets the training camp type. He's always here for training camp. So it's really weird that he comes out of nowhere and he's actually looking back to his 2017 form. That's what I think. Like I was talking about it with Jesse Naylor again, and I was trying to remember which game it was, but he reminded me, because he knew exactly what I was talking about. I said Jimmy Garoppolo on that throw to Kittle in the back of the end zone. It was very reminiscent of a game in 2017 where he rolled out to his left as well. He's all, against the Jaguars. I was like, that was the game. So he's looking back to his old form. He still had that mental block, I think, with missing the deep pass to Emmanuel Sanders. So I think that's why he wasn't throwing deep passes last year. And then he had to be forced by Kyle Shanahan telling him, hey, dude, this is easy shit. Can you do this? So that's why he threw a deep shot to Deebo Samuel right before the half against the Bears. But outside of that, he wasn't throwing deep passes. And now this year, we're starting to see him throw deep passes, but a lot of them are underthrown, right? Now, what did he do in the Super Bowl that he was hounded about? He overthrew Emmanuel Sanders. So I think he's still overcoming it a little bit, but I'm glad to see him coming back to his old form. That's beautiful. So I know you say Tom Brady-ish, and it is, but I think it's very past Jimmy-ish, if I do say so myself. Yeah, man, he's balling out, man. He's doing great. Like I said, when the 49ers have lost and looked bad, it wasn't on Jimmy this year. I'm talking about this year, this season. When the 49ers have had bad games, it's always been the receivers are dropping the passes and Garoppolo delivers them, but they're dropped, or the O-line is getting blown up and he's getting sacked. So that's how I see it. And actually, I guess you could say Jesse Naylor is very accredited in the 49er community, I would say, right? He's got a lot of subscribers. A lot of people think he's really smart, right? And when I laid it out to him, because he's not a big Jimmy guy, he's like, dude, Jimmy's not great. Like he actually the night before I told him I was going to argue with him the next day on my live stream. And the reason was they were talking smack about Jimmy Garoppolo and he's not good and this and that. I was like, guys, you can't say that. That's not true. And Jesse, expect the heat when you come on my channel. All love, but we're gonna go back and forth about it a little bit. He's all, hell yeah, man, looking forward to it. And when I laid out how I feel about Jimmy Garoppolo, he said, you know what? Actually, the way Wolf laid it out, and put it into words was very beautiful. And I need to cut that clip out and post it, man, because I really appreciated that, man. Because whatever I say it for a reason. I think I don't like to blow smoke out of my ass. Like, I'm gonna be real. When Jimmy Garoppolo plays like shit, I'm gonna say it. And when he's good, I'm going to give him his fucking flowers, because I'm a Trey Lance guy. I wanted Trey Lance after what we saw last year. I was like, dude, every year when we get into the postseason, the 49ers are dragging Garoppolo around, hoisting him into the damn, next playoff game. It's like he's kicking and screaming and they're dragging him into the next postseason game. But this year, it's a very different Garoppolo we're seeing, I think. And some wouldn't say that, but I do, because we're starting to see, roll out to the left and throw beautiful pass to the back of the end zone. Perfectly placed, man. There's a defender right under that. Now, the thing was about that play too, and Garoppolo had to take a second to set his feet, and that's why it came out late. But George Kittle was actually super wide open. If Garoppolo would have thrown it like a second sooner, it wouldn't have been as close. It would have just been like a super easy walk-in touchdown. But since Garoppolo had to kind of stop and set his feet, that's why it was such a close pass. But it's very beautiful at the end of the day. 49ers first take says bring in AJ Bayou. Bouye. AJ Bouye. Dude, honestly, for secondary, it's really weird that there's some of these guys that are available as well. So, it's very interesting. Sidney Jones would be a great guy, I think, that to develop, but who knows what he has left in that Achilles. We just saw what happened with Verrett today. But AJ Bouye, like, I'm not opposed to any of these guys. The 49ers have an eye for talent. They're going to develop a guy if he has the tools to do it, right? So I like it. I like it a lot. Corey Davis, my guy, good to see you in here, man. He says, I think Jason Verrett should retire. And a lot of people do. It's up to him, man. DB coach would be a good one for him, a good opportunity. I'm sure the 49ers would love to have him back at that position. But if he wants to give it another go on a dirt cheap contract, try it out. He probably won't be available till the end of the season next year around this time or even postseason. So, yeah, it's probably time for him to hang it up, man. I just don't think his body's equipped to have that longevity in the NFL. So it's probably time to hang it up. But you know what? I'm not going to tell him what to do at the end of the day. It's his body. And I understand from an athlete's perspective, it's so hard to give up your dreams when it comes to your sport or sports. But Brian Culp is in here too, man. Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you in here. Hope you guys are having a great night as well. Let me see if I got any questions in here. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm super behind on the comments. Sorry. Give you some elevator music in the meantime. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. If I can't have you. Who remembers the Bee Gees? Those guys are dope. What is it? Oh, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. So we got a comment here. CG says, and we got lots of comments that I'm super behind on. But CG says, E-Man, I'll retain because we know how capable he is. When healthy, he is good. It's a bargain to retain. Yeah, man, that's a sad part. But, of course, as an organization, as a business, it should work out to the 49ers' favor that Mosley wasn't able to stay healthy. And so contractually, he'll have to take a cut. But the thing is, he can bet on himself in free agency and try to get a better deal. He's like, hey, man, I know I got hurt last year, but look at my resume for the rest of the other years, right? I built up from nothing and became one of the best cornerbacks in the game. So take a chance on me and I can work out. And the thing is, too, he might be smart and sign for lower guaranteed money and hit the 49ers with a lot of incentives. So you guys heard it here first. Look out for that. If E-Man gets re-signed to the 49ers, if they agree to that, there's probably going to be a lot of incentives that if E-Man stays healthy, he's going to make a lot of money. I hope we can bring back E-Man on a good 2 to 3 year deal. Yeah, man, that'd be great. I'd even say 4 years, but I understand the aspect of the risk the 49ers. Oh, shit. See, some of these guys I didn't know were signed. Sidney Jones, Jonathan Abrams says 49ers first take. So you got signed to the Packers. Yeah, I'm really behind. I wish I didn't have to work full-time so I could do this full-time, man. That'd be great. I could know everybody. See, if I didn't work full-time, I'd know everybody that was in free agency right now. I'd have all that shit for you guys. But, yeah. Maybe one day. David McNew in the house. What's up, bro? Hope you're having a great night, man. Outside of the Verrett news, very tough for us to handle. We were excited about this defense, I know, bro. And it was going to help out the D line. But he says, Wolf, what up? Like I said, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing good. Sad news about Verrett, of course. Um, we should sign Sheldon Richardson, says David McNew, for D tackle and Darquez Denard for depth. Wasn't Darquez already on the team and they cut him? Just say no. See, that's why you just don't want Dante Johnson. That's why. But yeah, I'm all for Sheldon Richardson, but it depends on the price, man. We don't have a lot of cap space, and we're gonna have to see if the 49ers are gonna try and bring in OBJ. It's already reported from a credible source that oh shit, sorry. It's already reported from a credible source that the 49ers are going to be in on the bidding war for OBJ. So the guy is very credible. Heard it from multiple sources of journalists that credit his work, that when he says something, listen to him. And I'm talking about Jay Glazer. He's the one that came out about the report on the 49ers being on a bidding war for OBJ once he is cleared physically this week, by the end of the week. And I think that's going to be tomorrow, right? Brian Culp says Jesse's 7,777 subscribers. He is doing great. Yeah, he's talking about Jesse Naylor. Yeah, man, he's doing awesome. And I was telling my lady about it last night, man, because I was telling her about 49ers Sickness podcast. Again, if anybody here watching my video isn't subscribed to Couts Chronicles, CG Ruthless, Corey Davis, Niners Sickness podcast, Shifty's 49ers talk. Am I missing any? If I do, I'm sorry. That's a lot on my plate. But you guys go subscribe to those guys. But Jesse Naylor was a guy that lost his channel to some weirdo that showed up on his channel naked when he did a call-in show. So you guys better not get any damn ideas, because I'll find you, I'll fuck you up. But Jesse Naylor had a call-in show and somebody showed up naked, and then that same person reported it, and so he lost his channel for some asshole that did that, and now he's built back up to 7,777 subscribers. And you guys saw he was very gracious to come on my channel. That was badass. Really appreciate him. But yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Even though he lives on the East Coast. OMG, you and Wayne should have a show. You both can be singing. We're just gonna have a. You know what? Actually, if anybody wants to suggest that to Wayne Breezy, or Wayne Breezy, right? Am I talking? Yeah, right. Yeah, Wayne Breezy. If anybody wants to suggest that to him, we can have like a little battle, and you guys can. Oh yeah, 49ers first takes. My bad. Aaron at 49ers first takes. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, you got everybody. If anybody that watches my channel that doesn't watch 49ers first takes and the other guys, you guys go subscribe. I'm sure we're all going to be, crossing paths at some point with doing live streams together and stuff like that. So regardless, go support those guys, man. They're badass. They've welcomed me with open arms and shown me love. So I really appreciate it. 49ers Ultimate Report. Hey, Brian Culp is on it. Mariah faithfully, Steph 49K. Of course, we know all the big ones like Grant Cohn and shit like that. But Jesse Naylor, we know him. Jason Aponte. Yeah, man. Much love to all those guys, man. Everybody. You guys remind me though. I appreciate that, Brian. But yeah, Wayne Breezy. If you guys want, tell him. Go in his chats and tell him, hey, dude, we got this guy. His name's Wolf. He can sing. He can howl like a wolf. And you guys should do a battle. And in the comments, we could do like a request show. That'd be badass. Where like with the super chats, you guys request what song you guys want us to sing. Like say, hey, Wolf, sing Backstreet Boys or some bullshit. And then Yeah, that'd be badass. I think that'd be pretty funny, man. But I want to go. I want next time Grant has a call in, I'm gonna tell him, hey, dude, that R&B segment you guys had, this song popped into my head, and I'm gonna sing him "Sweet Nothings." East Coast Red and Gold. There's another one. You guys, um, like I'm saying, man, you guys go subscribe to all these people. I feel like I'm still forgetting a couple, but if I do, I apologize. Brian Culp's on it, so he's probably gonna help me out. And he says, "I got you, bro." No Borders Sports. That was another one too. I gotta go subscribe to No Borders Sports as well. And yeah, Amin the Dream, Rohan, Amin the Dream, Carcast, uh shit. What else? Camper Report. Need to have those guys all come in and shout out their channel. But yeah, guys. So use check back in practice today. That's very encouraging. Debo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell, all those guys are probably going to play. Jay in the Bay Area Baller, 18. So Bay Area Baller 18. Jay in the Bay. That's another one. 49er Minded. Dang, Brian, you're on it, bro. I got a dumbass brain now. I got hit in the head too damn many times, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, Brian, keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. I'm gonna shout out all those guys, all those gals. But outside of that, in the meantime, if you add any more, I'm gonna talk about some of the 49ers stuff. Does anybody have any questions about what we're talking about? Again, please, everybody, like this video. If you guys have to take a second, shut down the comments. Please like the video. And please, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please hit that bell notification. I know you guys don't like to hear it every damn 2 seconds, but we're kind of getting towards the end of the video for today. I think I should be going live tomorrow again. But yeah, please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get all notifications, please. 49ers Outlook is another one, guys. So, I mean, the good thing about this too is like, as Brian is bringing them up, they're spaced out. So you guys can kind of lower the video tab, hit the search bar, hit subscribe on those guys, and then bring the video back up and then start watching. Brian's going to bring up another one, and then you could do the same thing. That's a good thing about it being spaced out. And he's talking about Ted Talks Ball, says 49ers First Takes. That's another one. 49er Tone. So Ted Talks Ball. Go check that one out. 49er Tone. Ronbo Sports. And Niner Gang Podcast. Yeah. Niner Gang Podcast. I do follow Dion, man. And we'll see if I work with that. I like his very brash statements on the 49ers, man. I like when people hang their heart on their sleeve and are just real about their shit. So I like what Dion does with what he's got going on. I definitely watch him. And, I know some of us aren't everybody's, what is it? Pot of roses or whatever the hell the saying is. Platform 246. Platform 246. You guys go check that one out as well. Fourth and Gold Podcast. There you guys go. Another one, man. These guys are coming up with all the hits right now. They're not missing a beat. Yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions about the upcoming game, like I said, Alshire should be back to Colton McKivitz. Colton McKivitz won't be starting, so we don't have to worry about that. But he should be back, as depth soon. So that's great to hear. O-line is already doing well. They have their hiccups here and there. But as a whole, last time I heard and last time I checked, the 49ers for per PFF, Pro Football Focus, were ranked 5th in the NFL. So that's encouraging. I know, kind of like corner, right? The O-line, you only notice certain guys when they make mistakes. So, like McGlinchey, he's a guy that does very well in the run game. So it makes up for some of the mistakes he makes up in pass protection. But but still, you got to be better than that, man. You're in the NFL. So get better, McGlinchey. 49ers Cup back. We'll give it a couple seconds there. 49ers Hive. You guys go check all these channels out that we're shouting out right now. While there are so many 49er content creators, we might need our own website just for 49er content creators. Our own Facebook page where it's only 49er content creators allowed would probably be the thing. Everybody coordinate what time you're going to go on, right? And CMC Carver Jr. There's another one. And 49ers Ultimate Report, sorry. In the chat, thanks, bro. Good to see you. He says, yo! 49er, or First Take Niners. That's another one. There you go, guys. So you guys got no excuses. You're hearing it all here first. If there's anybody you haven't heard of and you should go check out, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, but you just fall in with the ones that suit your needs most, the ones that tickle your fancy most. Same thing with my man. If I don't tickle your fancy, or if you want to give me some smoke, so be it, man. I'm here for it. Regardless, let's go back and forth. Forever Faithful Podcast. Yeah. Forever Faithful Podcast. Dang, Brian, you're a little 49er slut. I'm very underrated with the way I speak. Yeah, man. Underrated. I think you meant something else. But yeah, man. CG Ruthless is really good, man. Glad I found his channel, so you guys check him out for sure. Let's get Niner Gang Wolfcast to 200 subscribers. Yeah, man, that'd be great. I'm growing way faster than I thought I would when I first started out, and it's very encouraging, man, when I've got guys like you guys that really encourage me and kept me going through some of the hard times where it's just like Jesse Naylor said, when it's just your mom watching and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I really appreciate all you guys, man. So yeah, would be great to get. Let's aim for 500,000. How about that? That'd be great. 49 cents says CG Ruthless. There's another one, guys. And then Haberman and Middlecoff. So my guys are turning you guys on into to some great stuff, guys. So you guys got no excuse. Billy Badass is awesome for 49ers fan, but he's a trash talker. He influenced me. You guys are probably like the WWF wrestling type shit talkers, like how they do, right? Hyping guys up. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get back to 49ers football. And oh yeah, our SF Niners. That's another one. Our SF Niners. That's another one, guys. Go check him out. Great stuff over there. But, we got Tajay Sharp as a wide receiver, veteran guy, been in the league about 6 years. And he's not a guy that's a huge playmaker, but he does get the ball at the catch point. He secures the catch. And that's one of the things that I love about the play that I seen from him, because I was watching not his highlights. I was watching his snaps throughout games. There's a video you guys can check out where it's isolated all of Tajay Sharp as a wide receiver, every snap he's had in every game, positive or negative. So that was a good thing to look at. And like I said, the securing the catch is one of the big things for me, because like I was talking about before, the 49ers, the receiver core, when Jimmy Garoppolo is doing good, but the receivers continue to drop the ball, you need a guy that's going to secure the ball instead of like, hey, am I going to get hit and worrying about that, taking your eye off the ball. Focus on the catch, secure the catch. And that's one thing that I noticed that Tajay Sharp does. So, that might be very crucial down the stretch when you're in some of these must-win games, if we get to that point and you need somebody to come up clutch like Juwan Jennings did last year, towards the end of last year. And so he might play a part in this. Now, he's not going to get you a whole lot of yak. A lot of times he secures the catch and just kind of hugs it and falls to the ground. So he's not going to be a yak bro, most likely. But crucial catches, secure those. And he's a lengthy guy, pretty slim. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how it works out with him. But this is what I'm talking about, man. Brian's a little 49er slut. But Brian Culp, you're my boy. Do you have a life? Hey, I feel it, man. You know what? Okay, like I said before, when I first got turned on to like the 49ers content community, Grant Cohn is what I started with, right? Then I slowly started transitioning from branching out to the people that he has on his show, and then little by little other people, right? So and then because when I would watch that stuff, I just felt like through my work day and everything like that's like an hour-long video they'll do, if that, because not everybody doesn't do a video every single day. So that's another thing. So I'm at work, I'm like, well, shit, this video's over, what am I going to do now? I got nothing to listen to. I don't want to listen to music. I want to listen to 49ers right now. And that's weird for me to say because I'm somebody who really loves music. Like I can't ride in the car without music or anything like that. I got to bump that shit. Like, so yeah, I always felt like there wasn't enough content. And it was actually something that I was thinking about today. So I was like, man, I need more 49ers content. So, you guys have your fill now. You're welcome. Thank you to Brian, David, CG, Ultimate 49ers Ultimate Report. But Brian brings up Real Talk, Niner Talk. That's another one. Damian Lee says, what's up, Corey and Christina in the house? Red and Gold 24/7 since Brian Culp. Josh Putnam, very good breakdown channel. SG Sports Talk channel. And CG says, I was influenced by John Chapman and C. McCarver and Hawk Hater TV and Billy Badass. That's what's up, man. Hell yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's got their own cup of tea that's going to tickle their fancy when it comes to who they want to listen to on 49ers content creation. Now, the thing is too, because it could be anything. It'd be like somebody's voice just annoys you, so you can't stand to listen to them. Or they're too monotone, so that could be another thing, or whatever the case may be, right? So you want to listen to somebody, or maybe you want to listen to somebody who's monotone, and whatever it is, right? So you got many options, or just listen to everybody's perspective like I try to do is another great thing. It'll help you get your brain juices flowing. Brian Culp says, I am blessed to have a job like Wolfcast and can be on my phone at work. Hey, that's 100%, man. That's one thing that I consider when I apply for a job or something like that. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to listen to music. So I'm going to click on my YouTube video and I'm going to listen to it. If you don't like it, this ain't the place for me, because this is a job. This is not going to make or break me. I'm always going to find a way to make things work in my life. And I want to do something that I'm passionate about. And life is very short. So I'm going to enjoy my time here on this earth. That's for the most part how I feel about it. Brian Culp is the Mr. YTC of the 49ers community, always on 7 streams, on stream 7 days a week. Hey, and that's like David McNew too. He's a different, he's like the stock market with all the TV screens. That's David McNew with all the streams going on different screens at the same time. 49er cents. I love his clips. Be a great 49 cents. I love his clips. Be a great video maker. Yeah, we mentioned him earlier. Brian Cole says I jump around a little bit. In the words of Tupac, I get around. But Brian Culp, just joking, man. Enjoy your 49ers content. Yeah, I don't think he cares, bro. I think he's gonna do regardless. Have a great day, Tribe, bro. Wolf morning show on the network. Enjoy your day. Go get Wolfcast 200, yo. Hey, man, I appreciate it. And yeah, everybody go tap into NFC Net. What is it? NFC West Network, right? with CG. He collaborates with other content creators from the NFC West teams, like content creator from the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams. And so you guys go tap into that because it's great to hear the perspectives from the rest of the NFC West. And Christina says, "Hey, Damien, hope all is good." Hell yeah. Shout out to all the 49er gang. Are you guys ready for the 49ers to beat the Chargers Sunday night? Hey, I know Corey is, man. You're lucky, man. I heard you're going to get to go to the game. So, man, kudos to you, man. That's badass. Congratulations. I would love to go. I hope you have a great time, and I hope the 49ers make it even better and win for you, man, because win for all of us. But, it's always a loss is always harder when you're there, right? And I know some people were talking about the jinx of like content creators that go to the game and then we lose. And whenever I've gone to a 49ers game, we've won. And I don't just pick and choose. I do pick the games that are the cheapest. I'm a cheapskate sometimes, but NFC West Network, says CG Ruthless. I have it here on screen. You guys go check it out. Really good for getting perspective from all the NFC West teams, right? Because those guys know their shit. They have a lot of subscribers too. So it's all the Network, NFC West guys putting their heads together to create good content, man. You guys go check it out. You guys could get into the minds of the rest of the NFC West and see how they see the 49ers, how dangerous they think the 49ers are. Wolf ain't lying, including my TVs. I could have 4 streams going at once. Crazy guy. Oh, David McNew, you're a GOAT, man. Love you guys. Corey Davis, he is the GOAT. Hey, it's ironic, too. I just said David's a GOAT. A GOAT, right? We got a lot of GOATs in here, man. Greats of all time. But, yeah, Corey, shout out to Corey Davis, man. GTC Reels says horrible news. Back to the somber feeling, man. He had to remind me, take me off my high horse that, Jason Verrett out for the season, man. Terrible news. Man, there's just so many things. But, I mean, you feel really terrible for him, and it's for the person, right? I imagine, he shed some tears about this, and very rightfully so. So my heart goes out to him, man. There's not really much we could do to him or do for him. Do for him. It'd be cool if we could send him like, chocolate bouquets or whatever the hell. Hopefully make him feel a little better. And the thing is, we're a day removed because it actually happened yesterday and the news broke today. So I hope he's in better spirits, man. And you know what? Actually, hey, you know what? To get on a lighter note, because, okay, let me say this real quick to speak on what GTC Rules is talking about the horrible news on Verrett. The good thing is that the 49ers were already getting used to playing as a defense the way they were with the pieces they already had, right? That's a good thing that Verrett hadn't played any games yet this season. So the defense has gotten acclimated with each other as a unit. So that's the good thing. That's the positive note, right? We're not going to take anything out of the perspective and where it's gone so far, right? D'Amico Ryans can go back to his game plan the way he had it. But to get to a lighter note, David, to get to a lighter note, man, I know you guys saw it in the thumbnail, I'm sure, but I want to know what everybody thinks, man, because as soon as Trey Lance went down, everybody threw their damn papers in the air, started pounding their fists and stuff like that. I was super pissed off and bummed out. I was like, oh man, not till next year, right? Then some news broke from a doctor, a very, very knowledgeable doctor that's an expert on this stuff, talked about the injury. And he's like, you know what? From the injury that Trey Lance sustained, it could be about 10 to 12 weeks. He can come back or at least be healed up, right? Not in football shape, but he can be healed up. And so a lot of us wanted to get our hopes up, myself included. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I do. That would be great, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen. If anything were to happen to Jimmy, knock on wood, and Brock Purdy were to come up as a starting quarterback, it might not work out very good. And I was high on Brock Purdy, man, but those snaps that he got towards the end of the game in the Chiefs game were that was pretty damn ugly. So I think it was the Chiefs, right? Not the Falcons. It might have been the Falcons game, but I think it was the Chiefs game when we are getting blown out. They put Brock Purdy out there to finish out the game. Looked pretty terrible, which is weird from what he. It was a complete turnaround from how he looked in the preseason. He looked very good, but like I said before, that wasn't against starters, the NFL caliber players, right? That was against guys that were fighting for a roster spot around the NFL. So very different level of competition. So if we could get Trey Lance back from injury, from the shattered ankle for the postseason, how would you guys feel about it? Because for me, I know the 49ers already shut it down. They're like, no, we're not doing it till next year. He should be ready to go for next year. Well, yeah, no duh, no shit, Sherlock. But for me, it's like, okay, Garoppolo limped into the postseason last year, right? He had to have surgery, tore a ligament in his thumb, injured his shoulder, tore a ligament in his shoulder or whatever, right? And so he's playing at maybe 50% last year in the postseason, right? We still almost made it to the Super Bowl. But if he gets taken out of a game by injury, knock on wood again, we have to rely on Brock Purdy in a postseason game or something, I'm going to be pretty scared. So I would like to see, hey, man, if Trey Lance has the chance to play, and like we talked about earlier, I hear people talking about like he's the starting quarterback, right? He got injured week 2. So he got injured. You don't lose your job to injury. We talked about that earlier. But this is a very different situation where Jimmy Garoppolo is playing very well. And so now, because he's been starting so much throughout the season, I think he's the starting quarterback now in a way, right? And Trey Lance is kind of on the back burner, unfortunately, but that's the way I see it. He's not the starting quarterback anymore. I I would like to see him in the backup role. Like, for example, Alex Smith, he lost his job to injury. He went from being the starter, got injured, and went to being a backup. Now, very different situation, but similar at the same time. So I would love to have Trey Lance practice and have a chance and at least develop on the practice field, right? For the practice squad, give the defense reps if he can, at least throwing from the pocket. Maybe you don't get him mobile, but have him practice and develop mentally from the pocket in practice, right? And then if something happens to Garoppolo, knock on wood again, and we have to have somebody step up, I would very much feel way more comfortable with Trey Lance. Why not give him a shot? Why shut him down and tell him no? I don't understand. There's so many more points I can make about it, but that's my overall feeling about it. And I'm going to go through the comments right now and see how you guys feel about it. David wants to revert back to Darquez Denard. Stop it, David. Hey, Dante Johnson's a 49er for life. You stop that. Cut it out. And like I said earlier as well, guys, if anybody would like to call in and give me any thoughts, I'll throw the link in the comments. I know some of you guys weren't here when I said it, but yeah, I will throw the link in the comments if anybody wants to give their thoughts live here on the show. And it'd be pretty badass. Love seeing your guys' beautiful faces. GTC Reels says his career is not looking too good. This one is a bad injury. Pray he gets back like he was, but reality is not looking good. I'm assuming you're talking about Trey Lance because that's what we were talking about. Oh, no, I think you're talking about Verrett. Yeah, it's such a bad injury, man. And it's just, if it's not one leg, it's the other, year in and year out, except for 2020, right? So I think he's done, man. I think it's just been shown that he doesn't have the genetics for longevity in the NFL. So as a rotational piece, probably that would be pretty cool to have him next year and maybe for years to come if he comes in really cheap. Because at that point, you're just playing for your dream, right? Playing to be on a championship team, not to be a championship level player, but to be on a championship team and get a ring, right? As a rotational piece. So if the 49ers can help you fulfill your dreams at a certain level, then I'd be for it, man, as a rotational piece. But we got to see how he rehabs and how he comes back. But yeah, Outside of that, he probably should just retire because I don't think he's ever going to have the chance to be a starting cornerback in the league ever again. Maybe like a Geno Smith, where like 10 years later, almost you get your shot again on the Seahawks. Oh my God, I'm gonna knock on wood. Shit, I hope I didn't jinx him to go into the Seahawks in a few years. GTC Real says sprinkle him in on the red zone packages. No, I don't. Like I said, man. No disrespect, and whenever I disagree with somebody, like I disagreed with the Niner Sickness podcast earlier, just because I disagree, I mean it in the most respectful manner, and I don't want to put anybody on blast. But like I said, he got a shattered ankle. This is what got him injured in the first place. Now, I know you said red zone package, and that doesn't exactly mean mobility, but I would rather him have something at the beginning of a drive where you have a chance for a deep shot, right? That's what I would think, because he's better at the deep pass than Garoppolo is. But how well is he going to be able to plant his feet to throw deep is also another thing you got to think about. So I disagree. I wouldn't sprinkle him in anything. I would just, if we need him to step up because something happens to Garoppolo, knock on wood, that's the way to do it. Outside of that, let him develop on the practice field. But that's just my opinion. Everybody else is entitled to theirs. I'm just disagreeing. I don't. David McNew's laughing. I don't know what. Probably something that I said. I don't. Macchiano says that reminds me of Tupac Machiavelli, but I don't think Shannon Clown will let Lance near the field. Yeah, I don't think so either, man. I think they shut it down. The 49ers current regime has been pretty honest with us for the most part throughout their tenure with the 49ers, right? Ever since Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been here, they've been honest with us. Like, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo's the starter, last year. It's not Trey Lance's team. It's Jimmy Garoppolo's team, stuff like that, right? And we saw it work into fruition. Trey Lance would step in whenever Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. So I think it's going to be, if he does come back, it's going to be that. But, okay, I see Corey's asking for the link, so I'm going to throw it in the comments real quick. But in the meantime, yes, they've been very honest with us, and they shut it down. They're like, okay, I don't really give a shit what that doctor said. I'm the expert on this team. And that's very much their ego, right? Or at least Kyle Shanahan's ego. But they shut it down. They said he's not coming back till next season. So I could very much see them, even if he's ready and able, because I'm sure we've all, by this time, I forgot to say it, but we saw this is why it's in conversation now, right? Because we heard that expert doctor talk about it earlier in the season once Trey Lance went out. But the thing was, now Trey Lance, he went out and he has a picture of him standing with no boot. So no cast, no boot, no crutches. He's standing on his 2 feet, his 2 legs, right? And I hear a lot of people, hey, man, it's just a picture. Let the guy rehab and let him rest. You guys shouldn't be talking about this right now. It's disrespectful. Let him come back from his injury and stuff like that. Hey, Trey Lance, best of luck in recovery, And I understand the respect aspect of it. I love it that you guys want to be respectful, but I don't think anybody who's saying that is fully understanding that Trey Lance wants this stuff out there. That's why it's out there, because Trey Lance wants it out there. He has shown us every step of the way of his rehabilitation. Hey, dude, I'm in a wheelchair. Okay, now I'm on crutches. Hey, now I got a boot on. It's not a cast anymore. Okay, now I got the boot off. I'm standing on 2 feet. It's out there because he wants it out there. He wants us talking about it. He wants the pressure put on the 49ers organization like I talked about with Verrett. Verrett, no matter what, through his rehab, he's going to want to come back, because that's the desire as athletes that we have in our hearts. We want to be out there. You see it with Brady. No matter how old he is, he still wants to play the game. he still wants to win. That's the eye of the tiger, right? Trey Lance has the same shit. He's a competitor. So he's never going to lose that. And he wants to be in. So anybody who's saying give him respect and let him rehab, no, dude, that's not how Trey Lance feels. He wants to be here. So please shut that down. We got Corey Davis in the stream. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Sorry, how you?
I'm doing all right, bro. My throat's getting a little raspy now, but terrible news with Verrett. Very sad about that, but other than that, good day.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we don't have some stupid fans that did the same thing to Raheem Mustard when he got hurt. Same
Oh
fans
yeah,
that did Debo.
and that's what I'm talking about. There's always those people, man. Um,
Oh, they
e-
not sending no death threats. Like, oh, you know,
yeah, yeah, man. I
that's why I
mean,
said stupid fans. I'm not talking about
yeah.
49
No, I know.
fans.
There's always those people, man. Even 49er fans that claim to be diehards, they forget the human aspect to it, man. And so, real quick, I'm gonna add Brian just because he's waiting patiently. I can add him in here with us.
Yeah.
But what do you have on your mind outside of that today, Corey? What's up, Brian? How you doing, bro?
Hey Corey, hey Wolf.
What's
Hey,
up, bro?
Brian.
So, so what do you think, Corey? What's on your mind? Maybe outside of how you feel about how the fans might take this, man, because I understand completely what you're saying, bro. We've seen it before.
Yeah. I just think it's time for Jason now to retire or, you know, find something else. Because he had one good year, one healthy season,
Yeah,
and it's just like every time he's trying to come back, he's getting hurt. So sometimes he gotta look at the message. He gotta look at God and say, "It is, it is me. I, sh- I think I should retire now. Go into coaching. He can, now you have to coach NFL level. He can go college coaching or
yeah,
high school. You
yeah,
know,
definitely, definitely. And I
because
think the best thing for him, if he were to have a coaching job, would be here. The players would love him. The locker room loves him so much. He's such a leader in this locker room. He's a guy that in the offseason, you saw Trey Lance going with him to basketball games and stuff like that because of just the personality and just the impact he has on the rest of the players as a veteran. He's a very big leader in this locker room, so I think they would respect him so much and really respect what he has to say about their play.
mm,
He's already comfortable with the coaches and everything too. Brian, you got any thoughts, man? My
yeah,
voice is getting a little shot, so I'm gonna let you guys talk a little bit more.
Yeah,
Brian,
it's very sad what happened with. Can you hear me?
it's a
Can you still hear me?
little. Yeah, you guys are freezing. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what. Yeah, Brian's
I'll
frozen a
go
bit.
back in. I'll come
yeah.
back in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get Brian here in a sec, man. You got anything else you want to tap into, Corey?
Well, like you said, I'm gonna be going to this game. So, and like Niners, Sixers, and y'all both saying hope the team win one for him. Put
Yeah, yeah,
put him up there and
playing
say
inspired.
we're gonna win this for
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah, whatever you got to do to get that fire in your heart, man. Because regardless, the
Yeah,
49ers better come out of a bye week and steamroll the damn Chargers. But yeah, you would definitely love to see a great game put together for Jason Verrett, man. And everybody kind of give him a
and
shout
then
out. That'd be,
and the way we can win this game is run.
oh,
Don't
yeah.
let yeah
with
just
the
with
49ers
that
have gone
run
away.
defense.
Yeah,
With that run defense as bad as it is, we that should be our that's
yeah,
run the ball.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Corey. And the Jason Verrett injury is really sad. You can only tear something so many times and still be effective. Um, every time you tear something like that, and what's now it's two Achilles and two ACLs.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, every time he's lost a little bit of mobility or a little bit of speed. But the thing about him is the type of what player he was. He was really a lockdown performer. Like
Yeah,
he'd lock down, and it's really sad because the type of you don't see that too much anymore. So I hope he does better. He heals up. If he does have an opportunity to come back, you know, again, maybe take a team friendly deal. But for the most part, I don't know. It might be time for him just to, do like what Steve Young did and just say it's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Totally,
was
man.
so I was so
I,
mad when sorry, I was so mad when Steve Young retired. I was so mad.
yeah.
me
Well,
too.
I mean, I think it's better than seeing him go to another team like Joe Montana did. So at least there's that,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Retiring as a
yeah.
49er is always like the best thing for us fans, at least. But, Corey, definitely you're right, man. The 49ers have gone away from the run game, which has been their bread and butter over the years. And the Chargers, that's their weakness is the run game. So, yeah, I would love to see just run it down their damn throats and Jimmy don't even got to pass nothing, or Christian McCaffrey or Debo. Don't let them throw any passes. But GTC Real says then you can't play him by uh, then you can't play him. But for me, decoy would be my play, and I understand that, man, very much. But and he's talking about Trey Lance. But the thing is, for me, is it's all going to depend on his health. So we're going to have to see how just how ready he is, man. How good he feels because standing on your legs is one thing, standing on your feet is one thing after shattering your ankle, but running around with 300-pound bodies flying around everywhere, that's
hmm
another thing. So I wouldn't put him in unless Garoppolo goes down. Knock on wood again for the millionth time.
yeah. It's got it's and it's an emotional thing too. You gotta be
Yeah,
comfortable because that's what I think what happened to Jimmy. After he hurt his Achilles or right,
yeah,
whatever it was, he in 2018 he wasn't. He came back. He was never the same. I think that kind of that mental.
yeah. Definitely, right? Just like you got even Garoppolo still gets happy feet at times. So
Hmm
it's like boxing where you can punch the bag all day, man, but when you get in a fight, it's a whole different game. And a lot of like what people don't realize is like, okay, if you throw somebody in the ring for the first time, and this is pertaining to football too. If you're throwing somebody in the ring for the first time, you're going to see them, flinching and closing their eyes a lot. And some of the best fighters, you'll see them. Their eyes are on you like a damn hawk. They could get hit, and their eyes are still on you because their focus is that high. That's why they can do all that beautiful movement and all stuff like that because they've acclimated themselves by sparring and getting ready for a fight because that's the closest thing. You could hit a bag all day, but it doesn't hit you back. So it's the same thing with Trey Lance, like you're saying. Corey he has to play and get used to that again. But when he's ready, and he has to have time for getting used to hits again. But guys, we're getting almost to 2 hours. I have to keep it under the 2 hour mark because of my kids and
Okay,
my
great.
wife
Yep.
and the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't count any videos over 2 hours. So I have to
Oh yeah,
keep
they
it under
send you a
2 hours.
notice.
Yeah, yeah.
They send you a
But
notice. They send me a notice.
yeah,
You
they'll
went over
you
here
can
two
you
hours.
yeah, you could go over 2 hours, but it won't count it towards the algorithm. So I'll let you guys go off for a little bit, and then I'll just be back as soon as possible tomorrow, and you guys can go off and let
Hey,
me
no,
know
man.
everything.
It's always good to be with family. Enjoy, the evening. Corey, it's always great talking to you. I just want to jump on and talk
Yeah.
with you guys real quick. Shout out to everybody. There is a lot of people out there in the YouTube content creators. So again, if someone's not
Yeah.
necessarily your flavor, they don't have to be
Yeah.
your flavor, but you can always
Mm-hmm.
go back to them. So if you do like,
Yeah.
like some of those people I threw out there in the chat, and other people threw out, go check them out,
Yep.
because not everybody likes 31 flavors of ice cream, but sometimes it's fun to go back to that one that you didn't try a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
like, again, if you don't like one channel, you can always go back and they might be talking about something else. I like positive channels. I like being like positive, and sometimes when you get too negative, you got to go somewhere
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
appreciate everybody, and if you guys haven't liked or subscribed to Wolf or Corey Davis's shows, please go and do so. And all the other goats that have YouTube channels in the chat that I threw out their names and who came, please go subscribe. You guys have a great
And,
night. Thanks, Wolfman.
You too.
and this badass over here, Brian Culp is also he should have a channel at some point, and David McNew
Yep.
too. So, um, yeah, you guys keep an eye out for them. Corey, do you have any final thoughts before we go? We got less than 5 minutes right now.
Well, have a good night, everybody. I'm going to root for the 49ers Sunday. I'll be in the 100 seats.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I'm happy
In one
for
of
you,
the end
bro.
zones. So maybe they'll show me on camera.
Snapshot. Yeah, bro. Hopefully we'll see you on the Jumbotron on the football network on NFL or
Yeah.
something, man. But yeah, bro. Hey, safe travels, man. Glad I have you in here. I'm gonna try and do a show tomorrow too. I would have one later tonight, but then I gotta redo a thumbnail and all this stuff. But yeah, bro. Maybe call in tomorrow and get some more thoughts off your chest. But I appreciate you being
Okay.
here, man. Thank you. And safe travels,
All right.
like I said, man. Get back safe.
Yep.
Take care, bro.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep. Likewise, bro. Thank you. GTC Real says, peace, fellas. Hey, thank you. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. And 559er says, man, I think he should retire. I bet Verrett is considering that very much so. Thoughts, or I think that's what he's saying. Yeah. I'm not going to tell him what to do. Like I understand everybody that's saying he should retire, and everybody who would understand that getting him on a team friendly deal would be cool too. So whatever his decision is, I'm going to root for him. I just want him to be successful. This is so hard for an athlete to go through, man. It's heartbreaking. It's almost like a death, man. It's haunting. It's definitely haunting. So whatever he chooses to do, if he chooses to come back, I wish him a great rehab. And if he comes back, man, especially to the 49ers, just be a rotational piece, man. Don't try and be a starter, because I don't think you have the longevity genetically for the NFL. I don't think your tendons are built for it. I think we've seen that. So, but like I said, that's just my opinion. Verrett, do whatever floats your boat, bro. I just wish you the best recovery you can have, man. And my heart goes out to you. But thank you everybody for being here, man. I really appreciate you guys. Much love. Hope everybody has a great rest of the night. Please, if you haven't already, please like the video, please. And subscribe if you haven't already, with the bell notification for all notifications. I really would appreciate it. Like I said, if Jason Verrett chooses to come back as a coach, that'd be great too. So either way, if he comes back to the 49ers, I'm happy in some way. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Please tune in tomorrow. Do another video, right? Thank you guys. Take care. Oh shit. Whoops.